Welcome to Maple River Sports. Week 6 saw a few firsts, a first conference championship, and a couple first place finishes. But first, let's meet our sponsors. Maggie J's Restaurant and Bar, where fresh and flavor come together. All About the Yard. We're dedicated to helping you enjoy your lawn. Please call John at 341-8170 for a free estimate. Emerald Travel and Cruises. Without a travel agent, you're on your own. M&M Insurance. Insurance you can rely on from people you know. Kilty's Market. We are your local community connection for high-quality foods, friendly service, and great prices. Mapleton Area Foundation. Enhancing the Mapleton area by supporting programs like this. You can have your cake and eat it too, but for Kason Hollerick and Sophia Stenzel, victory tastes more like pie. The Maple River Cross Country team ran at the Prairie Ridge Golf Course on Thursday, September 26th. Despite Jason Klein entering the season with a smaller roster than normal, he's had more time to spend with individual runners, and the results have been sweet. While Sophia Stenzel has tasted victory in previous meets, sophomore Kason Hollerick followed up 2 top 10 finishes last week with an 18-23 victory. To the victors go the spoils, and as local tradition, he was rewarded with pie rather than a garish medal. I mean, who can eat medals after a long race? Senior Anthony Arias also had a very strong finish. Although he didn't get a pie, he did manage to finish in 14th place with a time of 21:24. Nolan Walker ran 24:50 to finish in 37th place. With her time of 19:48, Sophia Stenzel took first place in the women's 5K by more than 2 minutes over second place, a sign she's ready to push for sections and state. Kaya Winner crossed the line at 28:50 for 36th place. Without a complete team, neither the guys nor girls teams could factor into the team scores despite these strong finishes. Back at the 2,500-meter junior high race, Zach Wooldridge took another first place with a time of 9:50. 7th grade teammate Roger Welly took 5th with his time of 11:06. Just a few paces behind, Connor Fitzsimmons finished with a time of 11:06 for 8th place. The 4th member of the junior high team, Lina Schneider, took 19th with a time of 14:31. For the girls, Brooklyn Greger finished 3rd with a time of 11:48. Ada Greger finished in 6th place as a 6th grader with a time of 12:40, and Kennedy Kirshner finished in 15th with a time of 16:49. The Eagles finished off their regular season tennis schedule with a pair of road wins that helped them clinch a new conference title, South Central Champs. To do this, they had to take on the Blue Earth area Buccaneers, who gave the Eagles a stout test just before the playoff tournament began. Grace Hansen gave Macy Zuri a tough first set at number 1 singles, but Zuri held firm to win 6-4, 6-1. Allie Mersman also faced a tough opponent, losing in 3 sets to Addison Persher, 6-2, 4-6, and 3-6. At number 3 singles, Tabitha Barkowski once again put in a steady performance with a 6-2, 6-1 victory over Abby Lorenz. Having been tested with challenging matches the previous week, Claire Langworthy withstood a formidable challenge from Abigail Greff and prevailed with a 6-4, 6-4 victory. At doubles, Kelsey Yeager and Madison Ward cruised to a 6-1 first set win before taking the match with a close 7-6 win in the second. Reagan Reuter and Nora Davis also went 3 sets before falling to Shavy and Rousseau. They lost the first set 4-6, rebounded with a 7-5 second set win, and then lost 4-6 in the third. Kennedy Oliver and Merritt Ward also put up a tough match, but ultimately fell in 3 sets to Hansen and Storbeck, 1-6, 6-2, and 2-6. The tennis season came to an end on Thursday, September 27th, when the Eagles traveled to Arlington to take on the Wolverines of Sibley East. At number 1 singles, Macy Zuri finished off her regular season with another quick victory, defeating Hannah Bartlett 6-love, 6-1. Allie Mersman bounced back from her 3-set loss early in the week to punish Taylor Moose 6-love, 6-love. Tabitha Barkowski had an equally impressive victory, taking down Kyla Olsen 6-love, 6-love. Although Claire Langworthy went to 3 sets, she dug deep to pull out a 4-6, 6-4, 6-2 win over Amelia Odenthal. The number 1 doubles team of Kelsey Yeager and Madison Ward rattled off another win, dispatching Johnson and Hagenmeyer 6-4, 6-love. Nora Davis and Reagan Reuter struggled against Beneke and McCracken, losing 1-6 and 2-6. Kennedy, Oliver, and Merritt Ward also had a tough time, losing 2-6, 3-6 to Thole and Cowell. On Tuesday, September 24th, the Eagles hosted the St. Clair Cyclones. In the first game of the match, the Eagles found themselves trailing 4-9 before a timeout was called to stop the momentum from slipping away. The Eagles had been overhitting on their deep kills, and following the timeout, they adjusted their angles to come rallying back to take a 12-11 lead, following some defensive gems from Delaney Stenzel and Bria Cole. Their lead grew to 3 at 15-12, and with the momentum and several aces, they cruised to a 25-20 win in the opening game. In the second game, the Cyclones focused their attack on the middle of the Eagles' court and dropped several soft shots to take a 4-9 lead in the early minutes. The Eagles found another comeback and tied it 9-9 on another dramatic Stenzel kill. The Cyclones surged, forcing an Eagles timeout while trailing 10-14. Senior Michaela Johnson's serving helped the Eagles tie the game at 19-19. But the second game slipped away 21-25. In the third game, Claire Caven and Ella Schul provided some early energy as Olivia Sellers' kill and Addison Frank's block helped the Eagles take a 5-4 early lead. St. Clair then turned up the power and surged to a 7-13 lead. Sensing the game and match slipping away, the Eagles' play intensified and several long points ensued, but following a timeout at 15-20, the Eagles only traded points on their way to a 20-25 loss in the third game. The Eagles made one final charge in the opening minutes of Game 4, and behind a Delaney Stenzel kill, they took a 5-1 lead. Momentum quickly shifted and the Cyclones went on a run that saw the Eagles trailing 6-11 at a timeout. The Cyclones finished off the match and game 11-25. The second match of the week saw the Eagles travel to MVL, where they lost a 5-set match. The search for another win looked promising early on. The Eagles seized momentum and took a 9-3 lead in the first game, and led until the Chargers took the lead 13-14. The Eagles fought back to tie the first game 16-16 before the Chargers surged to a 20-25 first game win. Frustration turned to fierce volleyball play as the Eagles came out hitting on all cylinders in the second game, taking an 11-2 lead. From there, the Eagles cruised the rest of the way, winning the second game 25-13. The third game saw the Eagles play lag a bit, and for most of the game they were trailing by a few points until the Chargers put it away 17-25. The Eagles found enough grit to rally in the fourth game. This game was the tightest of the match, with the lead switching back and forth over the opening points. Finally, the Eagles surged with the game tied 13-13 and went on a run that grew to 6 before finally ending it 25-21. Unfortunately, the tank was empty by the fifth set, and the Eagles never saw a lead as the Chargers finished it off 8-15. Despite many chances in the second half, the Eagles never completed a comeback and fell to Lake Crystal Welcome Memorial on Friday, September 27th. The Knights found a bit of success running outside on their opening possession, but after stopping the Knights on downs, the Eagles took over. Their first drive saw them take a few deep shots down the field while relying on Anthony Orduna on the ground. After mixing in a sweep from Amaris Harris, the Eagles were knocking on the door deep in Knights territory. The drive stalled and the Eagles gave the ball over on downs. The Knights took to the air to get out of their territory and continued to press the Eagles on outside runs. The drive was ended when the Knights took a deep shot, only to be intercepted by Caleb Thompson near the 20. After mixing up wide and interior runs, Zach Trio helped pass the Eagles to midfield, but then a costly mistake led to a Knights interception that flipped the field and gave Lake Crystal Welcome Memorial the ball in Eagles territory. After a few short runs, the Knights uncorked a deep touchdown pass behind the Eagles secondary in the middle of the field that gave the home team the 6-0 lead. Following a good kickoff return, the Eagles had good field possession. With the ground game bottled up, Zach Trio found a few open receivers on sideline throws to keep the drive moving, but an overthrow gave the Knights the ball back on downs. The Knights couldn't get the drive going and punted back to the Eagles. Quarterback Zach Trio then found Justin Eisbrand deep across the middle for a big gain that put the Eagles in scoring position. Trio then found Amaris Harris on a crossing route that scored deep in the corner of the end zone. The Bosch extra point left the game tied at 6-6. After a shallow kickoff, the Knights took advantage of the field position and popped a couple of good runs to start the drive before a play-action fake left the Eagles receiver one-on-one for a long touchdown pass down the sideline. A successful point-after attempt left the Knights leading 13-6. In the second half, the Eagles got things going on a quarterback keeper by Trio. A few receiver screens had the Eagles pushing the ball into Knights territory. An Amaris Harris run left the Eagles threatening to score, but a sack killed the momentum and the Eagles ended up turning the ball over on downs a few plays later. After an ineffective drive from the Knights, a partially blocked punt by Lucas Prohl left the Eagles with good field possession. The Eagles' ground game pushed into scoring range once again, but the Knights held strong and got the ball back on downs. The Knights used a misdirection play to flip the field possession, and suddenly, the Eagles' defense found themselves with their backs against the wall. While the Knights ended up punting the ball back, the drive took a lot of game clock. Now in the fourth quarter, Trio again directed a potential scoring drive into Knights territory. A pass to Harris put the Eagles goal to go. Despite several attempts, the Eagles failed to punch it in and gave the Knights the ball back on downs. The defense quickly got the ball back, and once again, the Eagles had good position for the comeback. A tipped pass fell into the hands of a Knights defensive back and ended another drive. Zach Trio threaded a ball to Wyatt Burr to threaten the Knights once again. But facing pressure and a ticking clock, Trio's pass was intercepted on the goal line to give the Knights a victory. The loss dropped the Eagles to 1-4 on the season.